Alter Rebbe, begin. Welcome to Project Likkutei Torah. We begin Daf Tzadik Dalet. We have a short maimer of the Alter Rebbe and a beautiful beard of the Tzemach Tzedek. It says in Apostle regarding the Gvulos of Eretz Yisrael, the Yorad HaGvul Mishvom Harivlo, the Pasuk says, Mikedem La'oyin. The Yorad HaGvul Umocho Al Kesef Yam Kineres Kedmo. There's something Mikedem La'oyin. And then it says further in the Pasuk, in Pasuk Yud Beis, Kapitel Amedaled, the Yorad HaGvul Hayardeino, and then V'hoyu Teitzetzov Yam HaMelach, and this is the Eretz Yisrael. Says the Alter Rebbe, short maimer. Yarden means, like the maimer Azal says, Shenoi tel mizeh v'noisin lozeh. That means that the Yarden, people lose stuff and people find good stuff. Peirush, zog the Alter Rebbe, was the pshat, not like the Pasha the pshat. Like we know whenever the Alter Rebbe says in the Likkutei Torah, Peirush, it means a different pshat. Huinyin aloe milmato lemailo, to be maile the shvire from the shivuri melochim the teo shalenis bareru. That means the nitzutze for klippes nega be mahapach dem likdusha. Asedo der inyan from the zayim mides. So though the sphere is the 7 middays, then there's the way they fell in Klippas Chom and Canaan. Chom and Canaan is Chamimos, that's the Zayim Midas Rois. So Yarden takes the Canaan and makes from the Chamimos from Klippa, Chamimos from Kedusha, the Shepel, Rishpeyesh. And his love was a passion of serving Hashem. Dos pshat Yarden shenetel mizeh v'netel lozeh. He is ma'ile b'surus d'losata. V'zeh nikro elam. If you have to take from the passion of the world and transform it to kedusha, it's elam. It's vov ktsoves. And it's different. There's shinuyim, different eating, different drinking, etc. No chido anhechen even avedo, but dosi derinyan fun averabo. It doesn't need to be taken from the dvarim tachtenim lechoma vikinoan. It's hakel mil mailo. Viteres al payim shon okedem briselo. Und dort kann euch sein, Sperrisch. Was ist Eretz Yisrael? Steht, it says about Eretz Yisrael. Ein Hashem Elikecho bo. God's eyes are on the land. Eyes is Chochma. Chochma is connected with Alpayim Shana Kodma Teda Leilam. Teda is 2,000 years before the world. Aleph Chochma, Aleph Chabineh. And this Ava comes Milmaila. And this is through Aharon Shushvin and the Matronisa, who gives Klal Yisrael, the Matronisa, the queen, gives it this Ava. This is the Pshat al Pikabola, that even if the Ava is Milmata, Shenetel Mizeh v'Nesin Lozeh, it doesn't come from the world. Goyim also eat, and it's not Nepech Likdusha. It has to be a Orem Ilmailo, should give you Kayach to be Mehapach. The Chom Avi Knoan to Kedusha. And this is V'yorad Hagvul Hayardeino, that the Orem from Eretz Yisrael hits the Jordan. Then it says, Umoch al Kosev Yam Kineres Kedmo. It hits on Kesef Yam Kineres. Kineres is sweet. Like Kineres connected with Sodim. Yoitze Me'ed and Chochma. Hopefully, Tzemach Tzedek will explain what the Alter Rebbe is trying to say with Kineres, Maasei, Kinoi. And then it becomes Mikedem Loyin, that this Avedis Abirurim is higher than Eine Hashem Elokecha Bo. And it's Yom Kineres, Yom Ilo B'chinas Nekudim. And not there, Yadim was, this is the 208 Nitzutzim in Klippus Nega, is a feel that they came down in Shvira, but the Shadish is higher than the Shvira. And that's, Yadim has a Keach very high, Lahalis, the little Mizeh, the little Lozeh, the Daile Mevin, the Mevin Yovin. That Yadim transforms it to Yam Kineres, the very sweet water, because the source of the Rapach Mitzutzim is very high. So those are the Pshat al Pi Kabol in the Posek. Yored Agvul Moch al Kosev Yam Kineres Ked. And it goes with Yored Agvul Ayadeino Voyete Tzitzav Yam HaMelech. But we understand a little bit an akuda. And now we're going to see how the Rebbe the Tzemach Tzedek explains this passage. The Gvul von Eretz Yisrael, das ist der Inyan. What's the borders? The 4 borders. That's explained between Chamishi and Shishi, what we learn. What's the Pshat? Says the Alter Rebbe, der Inyan von Gvul von Eretz Yisrael is connected with another concept, which is explained in great detail in Kabbalah, in Sefer Yetzirah, Perek Hey, Mishnah Aleph, about Yud Beis Bu'ei Alachs. 12 points. Take from Chesed to Gvura, with different lines. There's the Sefer Yetzirah says, there's Vul Mizrachis Roimis, Vul Tzvoinis Roimis, Vul Mizrachis Tachtis, Vul Mizrachis Tzvoinis. Even though in Gvul Aretz Begashmis and in Shaykh Roimis, but it means the height, the Gvulas are straight, there's no heights. But the Gvulas from Eretz Yisrael are connected with this Yud Beis Bu'ei Alachs. And we find also in Yecheskel, there's 12 borders of Eretz Yisrael, 12 Shvatim. The 12 Shvatim come from Yud Beis Bu'ei Alachs, and like it's clearly said in Zohar, Parshas Bamidbar, the Zohar says the 12 Shvatim, 12 borders, because the holy tree has this signature of 12. It says in the Parshas, the Eibishter has the name of Sefer Aboyin from the Chudim and Akona, that there is an Elon. The Eibishter has with Beis Bu'ei Alachs. And Gvul and Tchum is the same thing. Also the Pshat Gvul and Tchumim, also the Pshat from the Yud Beis Bu'ei Alachs is that the Vov Ktsoves have a skalos. The Shisha Midas, you have different points. Chesed goes to Gvura, goes to Netzach. There's a bunch of different points. If you look in Sefer Yetzirah, you can see how exactly it works. You could also look at Rabbi Ari Kaplan, I think, wrote exactly where these points go. So the skalos with Chesed and Gvura, or Gvura and Netzach, because Chesed Netzach was on the right line. Bina Gvura Heid Bagar is the left line. And you have different skalos. Odos Yud Beis Bu'ei Alachs. Says the Alter Rebbe that his skalos Yud Beis Bu'ei Alachs in its Shaykh and Eir. Because Eir is Poshet, it's outs Poshet B'tachas HaPshitas. His skalos is only when the Eir is coming to Kelim. So Chesed could be Nisyachid, Gvura, Netzach, etc., etc. Doctor, the Keli is Magbel the Eir. Eir is Nigbel in the Keli. The Eir is Poshet. When the Keli Masas and Klei Chesed. the aid is a so from the keli macht es ein gvul. Since these scholars is in the keli and the aid mitzadatz mezer poshet, that's why it's called Yud Beis Gvulin, Yud Beis Tchumin, and the aid is nigbul in the kelim, and have Yud Beis Gvulin. I the Zeir zog the Loshen Achtoim b'choisomoy, it's Sime, was er darf von Chere Stein, Itchem betchumin, das ist die Gvulin. So, the Alter Rebbe, these Yud Beis Gvulin al-Achsen, they're also connected with the 12 different Sirufim of Havaya. 12 Sirufim of Havaya, this is the 12 months. Every month has a different Siruf for the Shem Havaya, and they get a different aid. So this is scholars causes, like it says, the Loshen Sefer Yisirek Gvul D'Remis Tachtis. From this you have Lamata. By Knesset Yisrael, this Aveda of Ava with Heidor. And Gvura with Herd, you have Gvul Tzenis Tachtis. You have Yira with Heidor, etc. This is the Gvulis Eretz Yisrael. And the Beis Gvul El-Achs of the Tzemach said they come from very high. From Atzilis, but they come down in Malchus and in Biyah. And that's the Loshen V'Yora, da Gvul Mikedem Loyin. That's from God Hechen Atzilis, kommt es up Lamata in Biyah. It says in Zeir Parshas Vayishlach. Today's discussion at the Sheish is with the first Aracham for the Midas. The first Aracham for the Midas higher than Chochmah Bina. And aber wie wir an Malbish the Midas, and dort in the emissaries scholars, it comes down on Mocha B'Yud Beis Gvulei Alachs in the Zoh. It comes in Malchus and Dosip Shat Mocha Al Kosif Yam Kineres. It hits with the Kineres. Kineres is sweet, Ave B'Tainugim, sweet like a violin. Very sweet voice, a violin. Zogt steht a Posik in Shir Hashir Mochalte Yarim Divsh. Yarim Divsh is Krishma. It says Ave B'Tainugim, and it's Mosik Yekine B'Divshi. And who brings this Ave down Dafke Aaron HaKein? He is the Shushvin Matronisa. Like it says, by Aaron you should make him special clothes. It comes from the Rav Chesed, it's higher than Chesed Elam. Higher than Elam. Elam is Vav Ktsovis. And that's a Hechav Elam. And it's a Kiner, Halu B'Neva V'Chiner. Kiner is Chovov Ner. Chovov is Hashem Havaya, 26. Hashem Eir V'Yishi. Udosid Epshat Ba'Leischus HaNeres. And through this, the Gemara says in Brochus, that you have the Kiner, sings by itself. It's Aliyah Hamalchus, and the Aliyah is through a shir that you go back to your source, and it causes a haora in the lowest madregis, and this means a mocha al kosef. Then it hits the kosef on the back of the shoulder. This av comes milmailo shalei aldas higher than asoga, like someone pushes you on your back, you don't know who it is. The malchus needs this push, ocher ba'ocher. Mocha, kosef, back to back, and then there's panim b'panim. Kem and here zogim pshat in the posik. Mocha al kosef is like it says kutzi the sheiri shemake be'edir v'brat in the Kabbalah, a very high level that hits the back of the hair, hits the skull, and creates chesed and gvura and all wonderful things. Well, now then, as a zochim the Gemara in Brochus. Kine, there was a kine, there was a violin higher than David HaMelech's bed. Like Hatzeis came, there was a wind that blew it, it would start singing, and David would wake up on the Torah. It's the singing, Dosim Pshat V'Yora Dagvu. Omo Chal Kesef Yam Kineres, that the border is moving from Sof and Sidorim. Yam Kineres is in Meirev. The Ruach Tzfeinis is as it used to blow in David's kinneh. And this is connected to David's kinneh. It's connected with Gvura. And in Meilo, so when the Ruach Tzfeinis blows in his kinneh, that's connected. But his scholars of Chesed and Gvura. Before he said kinneh was Chesadim, the voice. There's different Pirushim that it's Gvura. Zog der weiter Yud Beis Gvule Alachs. 12 meeting points. Arosa Malchus de Bian and Bria, they're known Yud Beis Bokor. It says that Shlomo HaMelech made a massive mikveh. It's called Yam, and they were on top of 12 beautiful oxen. Yud Beis Bokor, 3 of them were going south, and the mikveh was on top of them. It's Maasei Dal Rebbe. Mikveh is Malchus Datzilis. Malchus is Dim. And thus is Yam because words come from the Etzem HaNefesh. And Malchus is Mashpia. So that's why she's in the middle of the Yud Beis Bokor. Osif Shatim Pasuk in Yirmiyah. Samti Chil Gvul Hayom. Yud Beis Bokor are the Chil, the sand, which are borders to the Yam. Like Kalim Amagdil Israel, like Vula says Israel, Shisha Vuli Mikam, Shisha Mikam Atruma Bem Tzisam. State that passing in Cheskel. Also, the Yud Beis Mazolis, it goes further from the Yud Beis Gvule Alachs and Bria, goes down and down till there's 12 Yud Beis Mazolis we know about in the stars. Come from the Beis Gvulim, Nosigavei, Amagavei Al Shem Erfund, the Beis Bokor in Bria, was a Mekav of Mechilis Malchus, and from there comes the Mazolis. And also the Nefesh HaBaim, which was Meklipas Nega, comes also from Beis Bokor. Pnei Yari, Pnei Shev, but the lineage from the Merkov is higher. Or from dort wird nicht kein Nefesh HaBaim. Und das ist Pshat. Why do we say, why a Yid, when he says Kriyashma, does he have to say 2 Bichas Kriyashma before? To say, Barichas about the Malachim, Srafim, and Chayas, other bottle to the Rebishter. What is them they gave with the Malachim do? He's davening to Hashem. But Medavin, at the Eira Avish also shining his Nefesh HaBamis. To be in his heart, he should be netak tanugim gashim mashenishke bohem, and he should be nimshach after his sheiresh. Osib shad v'yoda da gvulay yadeinu without the Rebbe explain. Yad is klipas nega shenetl mizeven nesin lozeh. Like when you sleep and eat out. The Rebbe says in Tanya that's klipas nega. So yadin is to take from klipa and have kavanah sim shamayim b'mailet. Peiros, like we said before. To be miler that a pachnet to in the shvil to be medical big dusha, and this is your mevar nefesh habamis, your mevar the food that you eat, and that's why it's called Maasei lo masanusach of Chabad. To say in the davening in the second bracha Maasei lo, it's from the Elam, and you need a seyua milmailo in order to have yarding to be mevar the world. Them zochten v'yore da gvul yadeinu. That Yud Beis Gvule Alachs in the Midas Alyenes give us keach to be mevar in its. Since the main bitter is through Vov Ktsovis, and the Vov Ktsovis are connected with other Vov Ktsovis. So that's why there's 12 hours by day and by night. And that's the Yeridas Gvul Hayadeinu. This is Pshat when Yidden left Egypt. There was Kriyas Yamsuf. And when Yidden entered Eretz Yisrael, there was the Kriyas Hayarden. Because Hayom Edom Miles Malchus Yamsuf. Yadin is Klipas Nega and Kriyas Yamsuf. Alma Diskasi is Begilui for the Nefesh Elikis. The highest levels of Helm should be Begilui, which Yam is higher than Das. And there's a great Gilead that gives us Keach to go in the Midbar, gives us Keach to go into Eretz Yisrael. And that's why it says Kriyas Yamtov is latest on Neshamas. Why is it the birth of Neshamas? Because it's a new Eir of Atzilus. That's V'Yonad Agvul. And that's why the Yamsuf was cut into 12 different highways for every Shevet, because the Yud Beis B'Alachs and Atzilus were connected in the Yud Beis Shvatim. We're connected in Beis B'Alachs and Shem B'Liya. Those Ibshat Shom all the Shvatim are connected with higher Batikotalia. Yorad Agvul Mikedem Loyin. It's from very high, and that's why Umocha Al Kosif. For Yam Kineres, just like it is Yam Svat to be a Ruach Kodem Kol Alayla. And Durch der Gilui, this gives us Keach, that we should be able to hear Mahapet Nefesh Bahamis and Yidden go by Abosha in the Yardei. What's the Pshat? That through this Gilui, you have Keach to go in the Yardei, in the Mevadevelt. That's Pshat, what the Tzemach Tzedek says in the Maimed Alter Rebbe. You could say another way, Moshe Pshat v'Yored Agvul. We're going to explain later in Parshas Hey b'chol Gvulech lav nechefetz. Gvulech Dr. Dorten is not Yud Beis Gvulei Alachsa, but Yud Beis Gvulech is Lam Beis Sivis Chochmetz Teira, which come begashmis, and the whole Teira is measurements. And durch der Hamshocha von Lam Beis Sivis Chochmet Midas. That the Midas Avnei Chefetz, even if you have a Lev or Even, you become Chefetz, you have a strong desire to the Rebishter. Why are these Lamed Beis and Sivis Chochmah in the second shot called Gvulech? As Lamed Beis and Sivis is the Lamed Beis time, it says Elikim Maasei Bereshis. Shem Elikim is Tzimtzum V'Din has to be managed Tzimtzum to the Kabichayis in Elomes, even to be Chochmah. Is also Gvuris, it's Tzimtzum and Sides, that's what they call Gvul. They're Tzimtzumim or Gvulim from the Lamed Beis Elikim and the Shedesh. The Shedesh is from Kavamida. Says elsewhere regarding it's a Shomayim Esor, it's Ani Molei. That's Mahusiv, it's Ani. We can the Eibishter was Ani Adam Kumen Welt. In the only ways Molei Kolor it's Gevede in Kovid El Teira. And Kovid Bigamati Lamed Beis Lamed Zayd Sivis Chochmah. This is Chochmah Satera, and after through Teira, could the Eibishter, the essence of the Eibishter himself, Ani Molei, come in this world through Eisi Satera. So even though it's Lamed Beis and Sivis Chochmah are called Gvulei, but in their Shiurim and Gvulim of Teira. Measurements, Aravis, Akazayis, but in them is Melubish Moshe Atzmos Yisborech. That's the only way Moshe Atzmos Yisborech. He come to Lamata in our world. Osip Pshat in Posik of the Tzemach Tzedek, the Yorad Agvul, Yorad, come Lamata in Gashmistic things in agriculture, Peya, Bikurim, Trumas, Umaisis connected with the borders of Israel. Because all the mitzvahs are connected, agriculture connected, Dafke Be'etz Yisrael, and Dafke, and that's why Moshe davened 515 prayers to go into Eretz Yisrael to be able to do those mitzvahs. No, so Dr. Nocharim. That these Lamed Beis and Sivis Chochmah come from Chochmah till Malchus, which is Chochmah Tato, and it's called Leiv Baruch Ved Hashem Imkei Malchus. From Chochmah and Malchus is called Eretz Yisrael. That's why you say the word v'yored hagvul by gvul is Eretz Yisrael, because Eretz Yisrael is Malchus. Those are from the yored hagvul mikedem loy. What's the pshat mikedem loy? It's higher than ayin. Ayin is sheira shelamane kodim echochm. But gvulim from Teira is higher, even though they go out from Chochm. They go out from Chochm, but the bin is galat from Chochm, but the sheira is much higher. Yag mitzvahs de Raisa, the 613 mitzvahs de Raisa, the 7 mitzvahs de Ravona, and the 620 pillars of light in Keser, Kedem Loyin. Keser is Akudim, which is higher than Akudim. And he's Mamshich, Getlachkeit, the Welt, Moli, Arts, Geveda, Vein, Kovid, Elo, Teira. Kovid is Teira. and through Torah comes down Ani, the essence of the Eibush in the Welt. Ani Mole, that's the Yored Agvul. Kedem Loyin. Kedem means it comes from Kadmoin, Lechol Agdumi, from the essence of the Eibush, Mikedem. No, Chapir sagt jetzt am Tzedek Mikedem Loyin, Oyin is Chitzeni Sachoch. With basis of Sachoch, you bring down Pnimi Sachoch with the essence of Chochmah. Dosib Shat Nosiv Leyedo Oyit Veleshaso Shazafate Ayin Ayo. It's such a high level that comes down Pnimi Sachoch with Afkas V'Teir. Look, the Tzemach Tzedek weiter. What is the pasuk mean with the borders of Eretz Yisrael? Yorad Agvul Mochal Kesef Yam Kineres. Yam Kineres is Ave B'Tainugim. That through learning Torah, through the Islamic basis of his Chochmans, Yorad Agvul, because Torah comes from very high. Durch dem hast du dem Minion von Ave Rabbe, great Ave to the Rebishter, through learning Torah. Dem steht Pesach es Yodecho Masbil Cho Chayrotze. The Rebishter durch the Lam basis of his Chochmans gives Ave to every Yid. Thus steht Yorad Agvul Mochel Yam Kineres. He comes to Ave Rabbe because a keynote, a violin, is very sweet. Moshe Pshat Havaya aided in the Shomas called the candle. Hashem made him Easter learning Torah. You have this great Ave Rabbe Moshe Bikit. Then you have the next pasuk base tells you Yorad Agvul Ayadeino. Not only do you have Ave Rabbe in the Shoma, but the Yorad Agvul Nochman Ayadeino, which is a Kupaslega. Because through Torah Mivarnem Shabbat Miska says the Chol Givulech. La Avnei Chayfetz. Is mas, but we said before that even if you have a stone like a heart, a stain in the house, it'll turn to have a great Ave to the Eibush, will become Leiv. Avnei Chayfetz, the Evan will become Chayfetz. And look, previously in Torah 8 in Bachedesh Hashlishi, the Torah is called Eis with the shield, gives strength to the Nefesh, Shalichis, and weakness to the Nefesh Abamis. Both Pirushim are emes. Both Pirushim, I told you, the Yorad Agvul are true. Through learning Torah, Islamic is Chochmah. You're also Megala, not only Chochmah, you're Megala, you basically Alachsen. Lemato, that give the Yid Koyach. Change the world. Fascinating beer. In the borders, Eretz Yisrael, we use this special koyach, data, it basically alachsen, change our world, change our nefesh habahamis.